Hi guys, welcome to my channel Practical Reefer. My name's Mark. Excuse the hair again, it continues to grow. So today we're just carrying on with the 20-gallon budget Nano Reef tank build, and I'm going to show you a super simple automatic top-off solution that I'm going to be using on the tank. I'll show you it fitting it and go over some of the details of using it. So with this, it's going to have no moving parts, so there'll be no sensors or float switches or pumps or motors or anything like that that could potentially fail. It's basically just going to be using gravity. Now, King of DIY did do a video which used a bottle. Now, specifically for this type of ATO, we'll be using an Evian bottle. Could be the 750ml, or it could be the 1.5 litres in the background there. There's also a litre bottle. Now, what King of DIY did is he used two of the same bottle. He used one where he cut it to use it as a holder, and then he used the second one to seat into that, to sit, so that the bottom of the bottle sat just on the surface of the water. So the tension on the surface of the water would retain the water into the bottle, and if it dropped below, then the water dropped out. It was a bit ropey looking, it was a bit loose, but it was a very, very budget DIY sort of solution, but it did the job. I've seen someone else do something similar with it, like an egg crate that the bottle sat in, and then if the water dropped below, the water drops out of the bottle. But that's something you could do. However, with this solution, which I've got specifically off eBay, I'm going to turn that around because it probably explains it better. It does the same idea, but it it raises the bottle onto the edge of the glass, and then it uses two small lengths of tubing to reach down into the water. So with both of these in the water, no water's going to come out the bottle. But when the water level drops slightly, the shorter tube that sits just slightly higher, when that one is exposed to the air goes up the tube, and then it allows the water in the bottle to drop down through the longer tube into the water. The only way this is going to fail is if we have an issue with gravity, and we're going to have much bigger problems if we have an issue with gravity than our ATO failing. Some limitations is probably going to be the size of the bottle. The biggest Evian bottle I've seen that you can get in your supermarkets is 1.5 litres, so not too bad. With 350ml of evaporation, which is what I was recording on my last video with the lid on, you're getting maybe 4.5–5 days, depending on how you do it. But depends on the time of year as well. In winter you might actually get more out of it, in summer you might get less, or maybe the other way around potentially. But the same theory could be applied that we've got there on the box. If you wanted to go totally DIY, if you used a sealed container with two pieces of tubing coming out of it, obviously you need to be able to remove the lid from that container, or you could use a bottle. You could use something much bigger with two tubes coming out of it, which could be sat high above the tank somewhere on a shelf or on a canopy, and you could run two bits of tubing into your tank. As long as they start stationary on the same level at all times, the same theory would apply. As one of them became exposed to air, it would allow air to be sucked up the tube, because the weight of the water in the container is wanting to come down the longer tube into the water. So you could DIY something, but this is perfect for me. £6, very simple, sits in the back of the tank. It's, they're well manufactured. I bought two of these from China. They came in quite different boxes, but they're exactly the same unit, and there's no difference to them. They're maybe got some different names and stuff, but I got one. It was like £6.30 odd or something like that. So yeah, quite happy with that. It looks like a good piece of kit. I'll show you just now me fitting it on the tank, and we'll come back and we'll also discuss a potential way to maybe extend out our number of days that we can have, because potentially we might want to go away for a week when COVID ends, or maybe even 2 weeks. But that, obviously that's something we need to look at. You probably, if you're away for 2 weeks, you'd probably have someone come and check on your tank halfway through when you're away as a minimum. But I'd be pretty happy. I've done it in the past of going away for a week. So I think if we can get to a week, maybe a little bit longer, then I think that should cover most people's needs. Or you could also buy two of these for £6 odd, and two Evian water bottles, so that could drag you out along and get you more time away as well if you want to use two of these. But let's see it going on the tank, and we'll have a little chat about it. So guys, as mentioned before, that little gap between my hang-on back filters was where the auto top off was planning to put it. I'm just going to make use of my lid here just now. So I'm just opening the box. Let's have a look. It has been opened once or twice before just to have a look. So we've got the box there. It gives you a bit of instructions. So there's a high level install and a low level install. Basically you can extend the tubes, so it's adjustable, that's what I was trying to say there. It's a bit of a strange way of saying it, but it's just basically you can adjust it, so you can have the tank level at pretty much wherever you want based on that. Not a lot else in here, and it just goes through all the parts that come with it. Let's use the focus there. So this does from 3 to 10 millimeters. So you've got an insert, the actual unit itself will fit straight onto 10mm glass. There's an insert there to get you to 8mm, a 5 to 6mm and a 3 to 4mm. And then there's a 1mm insert which will adjust any of these, so depending on what you want to do. If you put in that 8mm insert and add the 1mm, it'll get you down to 7, and you can add the 1mm onto the 10mm unit and get you down to 9. So a bit of adjustment there, it'll fit any size of glass. My glass here is 8mm, so let's have a look at the unit. So that's the unit there, and you've got the two little holes there which your tubing will go onto. And surprise surprise, I've had this out the box before, that is the 8mm insert, so let's just show you that there. So this piece here which sticks out, that fits perfectly onto 8mm, so let's just pop that on, and there's literally no wobble there. So what you can also do, they give you a whole lot of other pieces. I think there is one on Amazon that also gives you a looks like a thread adapter. Excuse me, that's because there we go. So there's different ones there for different sizes of glass, and then there is a 1mm insert just to give you a little bit of adjustment depending on what your glass is. But luckily mine's is the 8mm, so I can use one of the full units. And then what you also get is just a little length of, excuse me there, it's just a little length of airline tubing. So what I might actually do is, without cutting it, is just pop these both on, and then just start trimming away. So let's have a look. It's nicely sized there. I'm actually just going to cut that in the middle. It's maybe not the best way to do it. You might not have any leeway if you do this wrong, because I've already cut it in the middle, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And airline tubing is very cheap. So we've got that there. So you want, I don't know if they show it, yeah they do show it in here, they show it cut at almost a 45-degree angle. That's what I've kind of seen online as well. So we'll pop this in, and what I'll actually do, I'll remove the lid just now. So popping that on there, it is not a lot. So what I'll probably do is going at 45 degrees from the bottom corner of the block sitting on the glass there, and just cut like that and see where that sits, and just go down at a 45-degree angle and see how we get on. So when I say 45 degrees, and chances are I'll probably end up, so holding that there, what I'll do, I'll be clever and just, or be wise, and just give myself a bit extra. And to be fair, the two bits left are actually longer, so if these two bits here are too short, then I have a longer version available. So what you'll see there, well under the water there with the bits of tubing, so I do need to take a bit off there just to get it underneath. probably was right the first time, to be fair. Oh, excuse the angle. Probably was about right, but just going at that 45 degree from the actual unit itself. Oh dear. Yoink. Just launching bits of rubber tubing into my aquarium. Turns out they float. And let's try that again. So I'm not too bad. I'm probably going to trim it slightly, but let's have a go and see how we get on. So guys, put a couple of 100 ml of water in my 1 litre Evian bottle just there. I took the label off just because the label was hiding the water level, so you wouldn't be able to see. I'm pretty sure, so I'll let you see the water level. Need to tilt this up a bit. So you can just, the actual, you can just barely see the second tube there. It's kind of sitting just above the water level, so there's a little bit, the surface of the water's just hitting that just perfectly, so it's not even quite under the water. So water level's fine there. And as the water level comes out, basically air's sucked up that left hand tube, and then the water is draining out the right hand one. So it'll do that just very slowly. There'll be 1 or 2 of those, what, an hour, every so many minutes or every hour. I'll pop that back in there. And that'll keep me fine. And what I'll do, I'll fill up that bottle, and that'll keep me for at least 2 days, probably kicking on towards 3. What I would say as well, when I did my testing on the Salinity, 1 litre of water in this tank, so there's about 76 litres of volume of actual water in this tank. 1 litre of water evaporating off increased my salinity by 1 part per 1,000. So if you were to add an additional litre of RO water, it's probably going to go about the same way in the other direction. It will decrease your salinity. So if you were going away for, let's say, a week, and you added 1 litre of pure RO water above your maximum water level line, you're just going to decrease your salinity by 1 part per 1,000. So that gives you near enough, maybe in my case would give me 3 days without actually having to top off, because I'd overfilled the tank just slightly. And then with another litre on the back of the tank there on the bottle, that would give me another 3 days approximately. And if I go full whack and get the 1.5 litre bottle, which I have, you know, that itself should give me 4 or 5 days. So potentially you could easily get a week with this sort of system, and with just a slight overfill before you go, it would keep you right. And then if you were over a week, you'd only maybe have 1 or 2 days worth of evaporation, which wouldn't really increase your salinity by any great deal. And my intention for this tank is a soft coral, some macroalgae, might even try into some LPS later on, but it's very much a soft coral tank, and they will take a little fluctuation. And some people manually auto top off their tanks, and they maybe don't top them off for a couple of days, which in my case would be coming up towards 1 litre of water. So to overfill it by 1 litre of RO, I don't think you're going to do any damage. And then it also just gives you that extra 3 days of buffer if you were going away for a week and you wanted to use something like this. Something to test, and obviously maybe give it a test while you're here. I'm going to try it at some point, maybe overfill the tank by 1 litre with RO, see what the corals are like. Do they react? Is there any issue? And if within 24-48 hours the corals don't like the slight decrease in salinity, correct the salinity, and then we know not to do it in the future. But at least with this we'll get probably 3 days with that bottle there, close to 5 days on the 1.5 litre bottle. But just my thoughts there. You could extend that by overfilling the tank just ever so slightly, and you're not going to have a huge change in salinity at the same time. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Nice and simple one today, but again, this should keep me for 4 or 5 days without any great effort, and again for £6 and the cost of the water bottle. But I'm sure most people occasionally have a bottle of Evian, or that it won't be hard to get an empty Evian bottle. But I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Catch me, I'll hopefully be around about the weekend, or maybe into next week. So I'm off for the Easter weekend and next week, so I've got some things on at the weekend, but I'm going to be getting a fish in the next few days, and that'll be my first fish in the tank. So give me a little like and subscribe, and give me any comments below. Do any of you guys use these auto top-offs? Have you ever found any issues with them? Because I struggle to see any reason that these would fail. And is there any benefits to them? Obviously, I think the benefit is obviously cost. There's almost no way it's going to fail. I think it's a very, very reliable system, and it'll do the job. And you could add a second one if you want as well, for an extra £6. You know, if you want 3 litres of auto top off on the back of your tank, then you know you could do it that way. And if I was going away as well, I'd maybe take the front edge off my hood, and I could just sit it on the front, because obviously I've got the units there. I could potentially get 2 on the back glass. But I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Give me a little like and subscribe below, leave me some comments, and I'll catch you all next time when I'll be getting my first fish.